Hi, I'm Tom Stephenson, and welcome to Construction Project Management Tips. I'm a professor of construction management, and on this channel, I try to give you tools, techniques, tips to better yourself in the construction field. This week, we're going to be talking about construction pathways, and specifically this week, I wanted to look at applying for a job interviews, and preparing for a job interview. And so it's that time of year where I get a lot of students that are about to graduate that are asking me questions about, I have a job interview. What kind of questions do you think that they might ask? What should I do regarding this job interview? And so I had one last week that was asking me, and I was thinking fairly old school, and I was saying, okay, so what questions would they ask? And then it sort of dawned on me, well, no, that's old school thinking. What I should be doing is thinking about what tools could be used to make this process a lot more easy, but also a lot more thorough. And what first came to mind was ChatGPT. I don't really care what artificial intelligence format you use, but basically I tend to use ChatGPT. And students, generally they're not paying $20 a month to subscribe to it yet. But they can get free access. So I asked the student, what position are you applying for? And I very simply, if you can see here, it says, I'm applying for a field coordinator position with an ICI construction-based company that builds condominiums in Ontario, Canada. You could say where it is, right? Because maybe there's some unique geographic or cultural things that may come to play, knowing that this gets viewed all over the world, right? And I wanted to know what type of questions they may ask in an interview. So really, when you're asking ChatGPT questions, like I see all these things about take a course on ChatGPT, how to ask questions and this and that, I think you really just have to think about it naturally and how to dig deeper in asking questions. It's almost like in lean construction, we talk about the 5 whys. You keep asking why, deeper and deeper till you get to the root cause. Well, with ChatGPT, I think you keep asking why so that you flush out what it is that you want. And so I asked that question, and so it quickly responded, right? That's the other thing. It's very, very fast. When applying for field coordination, you can expect interview questions tailored to assess your skills, experience, suitability for the role. Here are some questions you might encounter, right? Can you tell us about your previous experience in coordinating construction projects, particularly in the ICI sector? Perhaps you got that question, you go, but I don't have any previous experience. Well, you could always run another question down here to say the same thing, but I don't have any experience, right? It knows, the AI software knows that you're continuing on that thread. And so you could say, but I don't have any experience. What would be really good ways to answer a question like this if I get asked it, right? And you could ask that question and it will spell out an answer. But you can look at the questions, right? And you can say, things like, how do you prioritize tasks and manage times effectively in a fast-paced construction environment? It's like, I'm not sure how I should answer that. Well, then you could copy it and you could say, what would be the best way to answer this question as a new applicant, right? New applicant. And then you could paste it in, right? And then you could click the arrow. And I got a bunch of stuff I did in there, so there's a whole bunch more stuff, right? But I just came up with that right on the fly, right? And it's answering how you could answer that question. As a new applicant, you can approach this question by emphasizing your understanding of the importance of prioritization, time management in a fast-paced construction environment, as well as your willingness to learn and adapt. Good points, right? Prioritizing tasks and managing time effectively in a fast-paced construction environment is crucial to ensuring project success and meeting deadlines. While I may be new to this specific role, I understand the importance of staying organized, adaptable, and proactive. It's giving you a head start on some things that you'll probably get asked, and you can sort of frame things to your own personal circumstances, what you know and what you don't know. And I think spending a few hours just going through this material and asking questions and getting feedback feedback and then further digging with whatever it is that's kind of troubling you. Because some of the questions might be like, I haven't got a clue what that particular thing is. Maybe I should find out a little bit more about it. And it's, oh yeah, no, now I know what it's talking about. So I think it's a very, very helpful tool. You're not going to get anybody that's going to be able to sit down with you and give you that kind of information so quickly on those types of questions. So if you're not using that, that's a loss. For the question below, what would be some logical good answers? In the context of condominium construction, what are some unique challenges you anticipate as a field coordinator? See, that was one from up here. And so then coordination of multiple trades, strata management, governments. Then some of the answers I look at and I think, I don't think they're going to be looking for that particular one. So you could kind of say that one's not so important. Logistics and space constraints, noise disruption management, aesthetic design, all of those ones are pretty good ones to explore, right? Like I said, some of them you can look at it, right? So don't take everything verbatim, whatever you do, but definitely use it to give you ideas about things, right? Then I thought I'd have a little bit of fun. I thought, I'm applying for a project coordinator position for Turner Construction Canada. I put Turner Construction Canada. If you're in the US, Turner Construction is huge. Well, they're also pretty big up here too. And so what should I do to prepare for my job interview? And again, Turner's around the world in different places. You could put them for wherever you are at, right? Again, cultural differences, nuances may come into the fold of questions. Probably not much difference between US and Canada. Preparing for a project coordinator position interview with Turner Construction requires a combination of understanding company values, the roles, responsibilities, showcasing your skills. So, it says company overview, understand Turner Construction history, values, projects, recent advancements, culture and values, right? So it's asking you to explore that. Well, you can explore that here, right? Like, if there's one of them you want to ask, you can ask it and it'll give you more, as you'll see down below. And then it talks about what the role might include, prepare for common interview questions, showcase your skills and experience, right? Additional tips, practice, conduct mock interviews with a friend or mentor, professional appearance, talks about that, follow up. And so, I could then ask further questions. Any specific information that you can apply I kind of slipped up on that one. So it entered that without entering what I wanted. And I think down below, I tried it again. Any specific information that you can apply for the following. Company overview. Understand Turner Construction Canada's history, values, right? I want a little bit more information. And then it starts giving me the history, right? Gives me projects. Turner project been involved in diverse range of projects. If I wanted more specifics, I could ask that. Recent achievements, research recent awards, recognitions, right? I can ask more deep questions about that. And, mission. Turner Construction Canada, there's their mission. Vision, core values. Now I've got that. That's hardcore stuff. That, I could have looked around on the internet for it, and I probably traditionally would have went to their webpage, but sometimes it's not always that clear, and I got to go scrounging a little bit for it. Industry presence, key competitors, and just, you want to sort of think about who are its competitors in this marketplace. And it goes, examples could include PCL, EllisDon, and Acon. You know what? Dead on. Those would be the key competitors in the marketplace. There are others, but those would probably be the most visible ones that would come to mind very quickly. Others might be like Bird Construction, Maple Reinders, other ones that would come to mind. But these ones for sure at the top of the list. So again, it's giving you good information. And I was wondering, I've heard some stuff, of course, me being a professor in construction management, and I really have a strong focus in lean construction methodologies and what it can and can't do for you. I thought, okay, I know Turner's involved with lean, but it really didn't say anything. So I got to go fishing for some information here. Turner Construction, so I asked it, what does Turner Construction do in relation to lean construction? Turner Construction, like many leading construction firms, has embraced lean construction principles and practice to enhance project efficiency, reduce waste, and improve overall project outcomes. Lean construction is a management philosophy derived from lean manufacturing principles, common stuff. Here are some ways Turner Construction incorporates lean: collaborative planning, value stream mapping, last planner system, pull planning. That was my video a couple of weeks ago. Continuous improvement, lean training and education. By integrating lean construction principles to its project delivery process, Turner Construction aims to deliver projects more efficiently, minimize waste, enhance collaboration, right? And then I went on to say, I asked a more generic question in this case. What are your 10 best tips for preparing to apply for a construction management position? You know, and this is true. You got to really sort of, what are they asking about this role? Sometime in construction companies, what the name of a role is and what they expect are two different things from construction company to construction company. Sometimes, like what a project coordinator does, it can have a lot more breadth to it or less breadth to it, depending on the company that you're applying to. But basically, you'd want to dig into what is that. Review job descriptions, multiple job postings for construction management positions to understand the commonality. Highlight relevant experience. All right. So again, you know, looking at where are my strengths. Maybe you're somebody I get students that have, 15, 20 years construction experience, but probably more in the trade area. And then they think, well, it's not the same. You got to leverage that because that's big time. You can really leverage that stuff. Because you have a good working knowledge of the industry. Sometimes people have English as a second language and they think, oh, I shouldn't say that. You can leverage. That can be a big advantage depending on what the work is and who the workers are. That's an advantage, right? So demonstrate technical skills. Look at, if you're graduating from a construction management program, what are the courses that you've taken? What are the outcomes? Look at your course outlines. They have outcomes. That can help to tell you how you would demonstrate and describe some of your technical skills. So go through some of your course outlines. Look at the outcomes. Soft skills. Again, you can look at the course outcomes there on a number of courses, but you can also look at how did I work together in teams, and what are some of my strengths in that area. Quantity achievements, where possible, such as completing projects ahead of schedule. You can talk about how you juggled 2 jobs, a family, went to school and did this. So those are really high level skill sets that people sometimes don't realize how high level they are. So you've got to basically say those types of things and how this is a passion for you and how continuous learning is a passion for you and how you work at that constantly and how you've been building your network, right? So things of this nature can help you get ideas for how to better present yourself in a job interview. And then when you finish a job interview and you come out of that, you got to write down very quickly right afterwards, what were some of the questions, what were some of the things that kind of caught you off guard. I can remember very clearly, I remember on one hiring committee, and this was for a professor job, and the professor it was a full-time professor job, so we do a lot of due diligence in that. But it was a person that had been teaching at the college for a number of years part-time. So a very known entity, very good at what they do. But, they were asked, where could you improve, right? And it totally caught them off guard, and they couldn't think of anything where they needed to improve. Well, I really can't think of anything where I need to improve. But that came across as being very arrogant, like, oh, this person thinks they know everything. And just because I was on the hiring committee, I spent a long time trying to convince the others that's not how that person is. That's not how they operate. They were probably nervous with the question. So you got to understand that no matter how much work you do, people will have sort of balls they'll throw out of left field and sort of catch you off guard. And that's okay. Sometimes you just got to say, oh, give me a minute. I just want to sort of digest that question, or ask them to repeat the question so it buys you a little bit of time to think about it. There's nothing wrong with taking a little bit of time before you respond to a question in an interview process. But as the focus of this particular video is using the tools that are available to you to make you better at doing an interview. That's going to be a positive thing, and getting used to this. And you know what? You could even, if it came up there a certain way, you could say, I'm, all into new learning and new things. I've been exploring ChatGPT and AI and different ways it could be utilized and things like that. if you feel that you have to feel it out, if you feel the interview, they would respect that. I did a lot of background research for this to make sure that I had a good understanding of that. I recognize everything's not perfect, so I checked some of the sources and checked some things in the background. But I think that could also be a positive for you. But feel that one out a little bit during the interview process. It's surprising to me how many of my students that I have to, sort of introduce them to these new technologies. They should be introducing me to these new technologies, given my age and things. But I kind of love new technology, so I'm always kind of trying to figure it out. And doesn't mean you jump on every new shiny object, but I can tell you I couldn't answer and respond to help a student as quickly as this can. What I could do is go through some of the questions. Forget about that one. Focus on these, that sort of thing. But definitely use it as a tool to help you. And maybe you're looking for a career in construction and you're not decided what you want to do. Start asking a bunch of questions. See what it comes up with. And then ask people that are in the field and ask people that are professional backgrounds on that. And keep in mind, people have biases too when you ask them. This probably has less biases, but it might have more likelihood of just spitting out something that probably doesn't make enough sense as I speak now. I've been in construction for decades. I've seen technologies come and go. I've seen companies come and go. Kodak, Blockbuster, Kmart. All former kind of clients of ours that we used to have. If you don't keep up with the technological changes, you fall behind and you're obsolete quick enough. So use ChatGPT or whatever AI elements coming out in the next few years and get better at it and use it to your advantage. So I hope this is giving you some ideas for applying for construction management, any kind of construction jobs. Depends how you want to frame the questions. Any kind of jobs, period, to be honest. But my focus of this channel is on construction, so that's why. So I'm Tom Stephenson, wishing you a wonderful day. Hit likes if you like this video. Check my playlists if you're into construction, you're wanting to learn more. That's what it's all about in building this community. And I thank everybody for participating in that. And don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.